It is possible for you to combine transformations. You can combine multiple transforms by using the transform shorthand method. The transform shorthand method allows you to string the various transform methods into one property. My starting file is similar to what we've been working on. I have an element and I've set up some basic styles for it, and I've already specified that I want to transition all properties in 2 seconds. I'm adding a transition timing function, and currently I just have a color change. So this is what my file looks like, and when I hover over, you can see that the color changes over 2 seconds. We're going to add some additional transformations to this element, and we're going to do that on the drop hover rule. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to use transform, and we'll pass in several values. Let's rotate our object by 90 degrees. Then I'm also going to scale the object. So I simply put a space and then I write the scale value and I pass in the scale amount. I'll scale it 1.5 times the original size. And let's also translate in X, and I'm going to pass in that I want this to happen over 60 pixels. I'll add my semicolon at the end, we'll save, and if we go into the browser and refresh, you can see when I hover over that the element is scaling, rotating, and translating over. You can continue to add transformations, so if I add skew, and let's just skew in the X direction, and we'll skew 30 degrees. Now the element is going to do all 4 of the properties: rotation, scaling, translation, and skewing. If you find yourself wanting to do more than one transform value, it probably makes sense to use the shorthand method. This will allow you to consolidate your code down. Remember that when you want to add multiple values, your list is just space separated. It also is worth noting that there is an order in which these transforms will be carried out. In my example, my skew is going to happen first, and then the element is going to be translated, then scaled, and then rotated. If we change the order of these, you'll see that the element moves slightly differently. Let's make one more drop element, and we'll call this one D2, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a drop.d2 hover rule, and I'll just copy the transform property, but let's change the order that we have in here. So I'll keep all the same numbers, but let's do scale, skew, translate, and then rotate. If I save and we refresh, you'll find that there's 2 elements, and if I hover over the first one, it's going to move in that way. The second one moves slightly differently. So you can see how the transformations appear differently depending on the order in which we specify the values.